Hi, my name is Diane Glasgow, and I'm a teacher at Leonardtown High School in Leonardtown, Maryland. And today I'm going to go over how to run the Digital Signatures Lab with you. And there are slides in the slide deck that go with this lab that have a lot of good preliminary information that you're going to want to review with your students before you start the lab. But this one slide really shows a good depiction of what we're going to do in the lab. So I just thought I would use it as the overview. So in the lab, what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is generate a private and public key using the crypto software. And then we're going to create a plain text file with a message in it. Then we're going to use the crypto software, and it's going to do both of these steps at once. It's going to take our plain text message and our private key, and it's going to hash the file and create a signature based on that hash. And like I said, it's all done in one step. So then we will have our plain text file, our signature file, and we will take those two along with the public key, and we will send them to a partner, another student, and then they will take those three items. And again, they're going to use the crypto software, and the crypto software combines some of these steps. So it will take the plain text message and it's going to create a hash. It's going to use the public key to decrypt the signature to create the hash of the file, and then it will compare those two hashes. And if they match, it will say that the signature is verified. So all of these steps kind of happen all at once. All right, so that's the steps we're going to do. And then after we do the first one, we're going to change the message just a little bit. We're going to change it by one character, but we're not going to generate a new signature. We're going to use the same signature, and we're going to have our partner try and verify that signature. And we're going to see that signature verification fail because it doesn't match the text. The text has been corrupted. Okay, so that's how the lab is going to go. All right, so we start out, first of all, we're going to be using a lot of different files in this lab. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a folder to store everything in. So you're going to bring up File Explorer on the Cyber Range. Don't bring it up on your own machine, which my icons for my machine are down here. These are the icons for my virtual machine. So I bring it up just like on your regular Windows machine. Go to the Documents, and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name it the Digital Signatures Lab. Okay, and then we'll use that folder to store everything in it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is create our private and public keys. So we're going to start the crypto software, which I already have loaded on my machine. So just double click on it. It's going to start. Let's take a couple seconds. If you don't know how to load the crypto software, there is a separate video for that, so you can take a look at that video and get the software downloaded. Okay, so in order to generate our digital signatures, we're going to walk through each of these menus and to create our key. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set our status to sender because we're the ones sending the message. Our operation is going to be public key encrypt. Our algorithm is going to be RSA, and it's going to be you're just going to be selecting the defaults here, RSA blank and SHA1, saying OK, and then our algorithm parameters. Again, we're just going to leave the defaults there and say OK, and then we're going to go to key, and we're going to say set key, and we're going to click on the generate key button, and that has generated our key. And now we need to save our key. So we click on the Save Key button, and we want to go to our file, the folder we created, which we're already in that. And then you can have your kids name it with their name. I usually just put my name there, Diane's key. and then hit save. And then you're going to hit OK, and it will put those keys in the key file. So now we have successfully created our keys. So if we go back to our folder here and look in our digital signatures folder, we can see there's our private and our public keys. And so then you can have your students take a screenshot of this and paste it in their lab document for lab submission 1. Okay, so that's step 1. Now we have our keys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a text file to share or that we're gonna encrypt. So we're gonna just use WordPad to do that. You can just click down here and type in WordPad and it should come up, which is just a plain text editor. And you can type whatever message in your file. And then we're going to save the file. And we want to save it in that same folder again. And I usually say, I usually have them call it message from and then their name. And this is a little different than what they say in the lab document. They say message, name it message to Bob or something, message to your partner, put your partner's name in it. But I'll tell you why I do this in a minute. So here's my text message. Oh, make sure that you have them save it as a plain text document and hit save, and it's going to prompt you and just tell you it's text only. That's what we want because we're going to encrypt it. All right, so we have our message, our plain text file. We can exit out of that. Now we're going to create the signature for our file. So we are still, our status is still sender. Our operation this time is going to be to sign. And our algorithm, we're just going to use that RSA algorithm again, and we're going to just let everything default. And our algorithm parameters, same thing, just choose the defaults. This time when we pick our key, we're going to use load key because we've already generated our key and we want to use our private key to create the signature. So we just click on the load key button, and most likely it's just going to take you right back to your folder you made. We're still in our Digital Signatures Lab folder. And there's my key, my private key. I'm going to select it and hit open. And then I hit OK. So I have my key loaded, and there's my key file. And now I've got to select my text message. So we're going to say choose IO file. And we're going to say open. And there's my message that I created. And in for my signature, I'm going to create a new file. And it's going to be I'm going to name it the same thing as my text file, except I'm going to call it message from Diane signature. And hit save. You can see it's going to be a .sign file. So I hit save on that. And OK. Once I do that and I've selected everything, my go button should now be active. So I can just click on my go button. And then it says done signing. It's created my digital signature. Your students can take a screenshot of this to show that the signing was successful. And again, if I go back to my my folder, I can see my signature file right there. Okay, so now what I want to do is we're going to take our text file that we created and we're going to modify it, and we're just going to change one letter in it. That's what I told you earlier we were going to do. So now I'm going to save that, And I'm going to say message from Diane too. And save it. Okay, so now I have just a very slightly different version of my folder, of my text file. So I have my 2 text files, my signature file, and my 2 keys. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send all the things to my partner via email that I need to decrypt the message. So that's going to be the signature, my public key, and my 2 messages. Okay, now at my school, I can't, my kids cannot send things to each other via email. So what I had them do is I had them email me, and then I forwarded the emails to another student. So I had to kind of be the go-between. So if that's a problem with the way your IT is set up, that's an alternative. And that's why I had them name these message from Diane. So they didn't necessarily know who I was going to send it to. So, but you knew who it came from because they named it with their name. So anyway, all right, so now that we have our file, we're going to go ahead and decrypt them. So now assume that you've received those files from your partner, and now we're going to verify our signature. So in order to do that, now we're going to change our status to receiver, and our operation is going to be verify. We're going to set our same algorithm again. We're not going to change anything. And this time we're going to do a set key. And we're going to do a load key. And we're going to choose our partner's public key that they sent us. So I'm going to open that up. And then I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to select my file. The first time I do it, I'm going to select the one that's going to work, that the signature goes with. And I'm going to select my signature file. And once I have those 2 things, I say OK. And again, once I've done everything, my Go button will be active. So if your students say, oh, my Go button isn't working, it's probably because they haven't done one of these steps. They haven't gone through all the menus. So we hit Go, and that's it. We get a message verification successful. And if you want, you can have your students take a screenshot of that if you like. But you should, so anyway, that will verify that they have the right thing. Now, once you've done the correct one, you can repeat the process again for the second message that has a character that's missing. So we're going to choose our second message. We're going to leave the signature file the same, and we're going to say OK. Our Go button's active again, and we can say Go. And this time it's going to say message verification failed because perhaps our someone has intercepted our message and modified it. So the signature is not valid. Okay. And that is our digital signatures lab. I hope this was helpful for you.